Running a business comes with a lot of what-ifs. But luckily, there's a simple answer to them. Shopify. It's the commerce platform behind millions of businesses, including Thrive Cosmetics and Momofuku, and it'll help you with everything you need. From website design and marketing to boosting sales and expanding operations, Shopify can get the job done and make your dream a reality. Turn those what-ifs into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Police responded to a 911 call.
Dramatic video of gun insanity in the Bronx.
Police releasing a new video of a person that they are still trying to track down.
Defund the police is not the answer.
Many people surveyed said they just don't feel safe in the city.
It's a shooting outside of a store.
This is Bo Dietl's One Tough Podcast.
Police this morning are searching for the person who turned this Harlem platform to a crime scene.
A Red Apple Media Podcast Network production. Now, here's Bo Dietl.
Hey everybody, welcome to Bo Dietl's One Tough Podcast. Boy, we got a lot of good action from last week. I apologize to anybody if my vernaculization is a little bad, and I get really angry sometimes. Today, I have one of my heroes with me today. A friend of mine from way back, from 1986, when I ran for the United States Congress in the 6th Congressional District in South Queens. And this man, I met then. I think he was the controller of Nassau County. Were you the controller?
Right, and I was running for Attorney General that year.
Okay, but this guy came into my life, and I don't say it lightly, he is truly one of my best friends, is more important. And he's like family to me, and his family is like my family. And then he went on, become a great congressman, and then become probably the greatest Homeland Security person that we had in this country. He was the chairman of the Homeland, what was it called?
Homeland Security Committee, yeah.
Okay, but he was the congressman that oversaw the whole thing. You know, in comparison with this little jerk-off Mayorkas there, because we didn't have Homeland Security then. We didn't have that position, that cabinet position.
No, it actually was formed right about that time, and Tom Ridge was the first secretary.
Right, Tom Ridge was a good Homeland Security director. And then this little punk come into play. I don't know. I don't think we have a great border. We have no problems at the border. You're a moron. And then on top of it, Peter, I'm going right into it. On top of it, what happened in North Carolina? There 90 people are still missing. And then all of a sudden, this little moron comes in. We have no more money. We ran out of money. And that's a lie. We're going to take on topics, and I apologize already, Peter, because you're a class gentleman, and I'm going to apologize for the way I act.
Well, I'm not that class.
Okay, but you know what? And you're pretty good in the boxing ring, too. I've seen you hit the heavy bag. So let's just start. I have a couple of topics let's start with, and I'm going to really get animated because there's a lot of anger in me built up from what's going on. Let's start with what's going on with the Middle East and our foreign policy. You know, we all support Israel, and we support, you know, what's going on over there, and that they were the victims there. Just imagine being this little bitsy country surrounded by everybody wants to kill you, and they're coming from the north, they're coming from the south, they're coming from all different ways in little Israel. And then Netanyahu tries to make a move and everything. We're telling him what to do. That's like somebody who's attacking your house with your beautiful grandchildren, your wife and your daughter. Everybody's in there, and they're attacking. They says, well, excuse me, Peter, you can't stop them from coming into your house to rob and rape and murder your family. Bullcrap. These people attacked Israel, and you know what? They're responding. What's your feelings on this, Peter, as far as with our policy with the brain-dead Biden and now Kamala, whatever her name is? What's your feelings with this?
Well, we have to stand with Israel. They are our closest ally in the Middle East, and I agree with you. It's insane to be telling them, okay, you've been attacked, you could have been wiped out. I've been to Israel a number of times. It's a small country. You can fly across in a helicopter in a matter of minutes, it seems like, and to tell them what weapons they can use, who they can attack, who they can't attack. Imagine if during World War II, they said, you really can't attack Japan because you're hurting civilians. You can't be attacking Germany because innocent people are going to get killed when you're bombing Berlin, when you're bombing Hamburg. Of course. That's unfortunately, war is war. And Israel did not start this war. They were attacked. They're fighting for survival. And if Biden was honest, he would let Netanyahu do what he wants to do. And also, they're doing our dirty work for us. Because if Israel was not there, we'd be going head-to-head with Iran.
Who is our enemy? Our enemy is Iran.
Absolutely.
And if it ain't Israel, and I guarantee you, Peter, and I hope I'm wrong, but if they develop nuclear weapons, Israel will be a target, and where you think the other target? If they got two, where do you think they'd lob it? Israel and New York.
Absolutely.
And that's it. And you know what? People are living in a friggin' fog, and Netanyahu's doing what he's got to do. And now I'm really appalled. All of a sudden, excuse me, I'm not going to curse, shithead. Okay, President Biden says you can't bomb the nuclear facilities, you can't buy the oil. Now they're making all these hundreds of billions of dollars on oil with this policy. What's your real feelings about that, Pete? I'm incensed when I hear
you
this.
should be. First of all, as far as bombing the nuclear facilities, my God, if they don't do it now, we're going to have to do it later, and then you have more of a risk of war because Iran will have the weapons.
And if you think that Iran, with this bull crap, if you think that they won't lob an atomic bomb on Israel and New York, then you're out of your mind. Now we go right into something. I had a great guest on my podcast. He was a lieutenant colonel, and he was over there in Afghanistan through the whole thing. And his name was, let me get his name correctly because I don't want to misrepresentate him. He was a lieutenant colonel that was a Green Beret that was over in Afghanistan when we had all the interpreters over there, when he had all the people that were giving us information on the attacks of our troops when we were in Afghanistan. Brainless Biden all of a sudden decides to clear out 1 minute, clear everybody out.
Absolutely nuts.
Not just leaving the stuff behind, but leaving all the computers with the names and identities of all these people that were helping us, and we left them behind over there. Information has come back from people we have over there now, and this is public information now, that bin Laden's son now is running a team of Al-Qaeda over there, is in Afghanistan training, and they're coming through our southern border, and they're here, Peter. It ain't going to be planes going into buildings, Peter. It's going to be attacks just like what happened in Russia, in the movie theater. Who were they? Al-Qaeda. Remember when they went in the movie theater, killed 160?
Yep, absolutely.
So basically, we're dealing with this right now, and people are not realizing by the southern border being left non-protected. It's not just the illegal migrants, that the criminal elements, the gangs from Venezuela coming in. We're talking about terrorists right through. And now we have a government official that's saying that there's no problem there. Peter, as far as what the border goes, am I crazy, or we don't know what's in our country? They say 20 million. Gotchas, get you. We don't have any clue what's going on, right?
No, this is a disaster from beginning to end. First of all, pulling out of Afghanistan, that was our way of monitoring what was going on with nuclear weapons in Pakistan. Yeah. That airport we abandoned is only an hour from China. And then you have, giving access to information to all our supporters over there was insane. But now, then with that, you open up the southern border. Think when you're trying to get on a plane and get over, you got to get your shoes taken off. But instead, you just walk across the border. And so we know that there's hundreds or maybe more of terrorists in this country at least. Also, already, Hezbollah has been here for years, including in New York. Ray Kelly was going after them 15, 16 years ago.
And we had intelligence.
Yeah,
we had intelligence from the NYPD, with the federal government. We have no intelligence. What's going to happen? Is it going to be an attack? Everybody's going to go, which way did they go? And they're going to have their fingers up their ass, and we're going to be attacked in America. I think they've been holding off with the attack. You know why? Because of the election. Because they know if they set this off, Trump will be elected in a landslide. So they say, wait for a time. And when this idiot Kamala, if she gets elected, I guarantee it's going to happen. And now, did you hear the newest? When they put these illegal migrants on planes, you know what they show for the identification? A piece of paper that they got at the border with no verification of who the hell they are. So we got Julio Gonzalez from Venezuela. Then we got Akbar from Afghanistan. And they're in our country now. They're traveling. When you go on a plane, do you have to show ID, Peter?
Absolutely. You know it. Absolutely.
Oh, I'm angry. I got to show ID when I go on a plane. Now, all of a sudden, these illegals get on the boat. Hello, my name is Akbul. Hi, my name is Emmanuel. I'm from Venezuela. And they get on a plane. They don't have to show no identification. Something's wrong.
Oh, you're a bigot. You can't say that without being called a bigot. I tell you,
Peter,
it's disgraceful. This country is turned upside down. It's insane. And when the next attack happens, people, how do you make all these mistakes? It's obvious what's going to be happening here. Absolutely.
I mean, let's just go right into it. New York City, that you love and I love, Peter. It's upside down. Travel anywhere. If it's not somebody on a illegal moped bike, no license plate, no nothing. Now they're spitting at cops. They're smacking them. They're shooting at them. There is nothing. They had this little punk kid with this, he's from Venezuela. He had 10 robberies with weapons and everything. In the last year, 10 of them, the year ain't over yet. And they just let him out. I think he's 15 years old. But Peter, here's a question I have for my listening audience. Just imagine, I have daughters, I have granddaughters. Peter has also. Just imagine if this little scumbag, 14-year-old, 15-year-old from Venezuela, this gang, Treso, Ugatsu, whatever the hell their name are. I don't even want to repeat their names. Just imagine, Peter, if he goes and he beats up someone you love, murders, rapes, and kills someone you love. And they keep letting them out. At what point do we have to change this stupid bail reform with that little jerk in the state assembly and the other little jerk woman in the state senate with this bail reform? And that's Cuomo's fault too. My friend Andrew, I don't know what happened. You did it, Andrew Cuomo. You were the governor when that crap was passed. New York City, you can't report an illegal person. They commit a felony, a murder. You can't report it to ISIS.
You're right about Andrew. Listen, I know state senators in minority districts who were opposed to that bail reform bill. And Andrew Cuomo himself, he would call them and tell them they had to go on board. He knew what was going on.
And now all of a sudden, Andrew goes, I made a few mistakes. What about the people who were killed because of mistakes? And now we go back, and here we go.
And then you have the DA brag to make it worse.
Oh, this moron. And then you get a Marine that's traveling the subway trying to help somebody, and the kid got this psychopath in a headlock, and he's prosecuting, but yet they drop charges. Now they have a unit now in the Manhattan DA's office. You don't even know about this. This moron, this fat, overweight, piece of garbage brag. He has a unit where they're looking at all the old cases. They're trying to stir up. I'll never forget when they're telling me, in Brooklyn, they had 80 murders that were reversed around by this detective. I really didn't know him. And then I always say, wait, you have 80 murders, but these people that are arrested didn't do them. Who did it? The friggin' Martians? Who's killing these people? Somebody's killing them, right?
No, you're right. And as far as that poor guy, that ex-Marine, 20 years ago, he would have gotten a ticket tape parade. I mean, that's what a hero that guy was. I can't imagine anything being more petrified of being on a subway with a psycho running around. You have nowhere to go. You're stuck.
But it would have been okay if that psycho took out a knife and killed and stabbed that Marine. We wouldn't even heard of anything. Well, and they probably wouldn't have prosecuted him.
They said he had a bad childhood. He didn't like his mother, and he was acting out aggressions or something.
To go back, it was Lieutenant Colonel Scott Mann was the fellow from Afghanistan that gave me all this information about Al-Qaeda being trained in Afghanistan. And you got Bin Laden's son now is active. Also, they're giving passports and they're giving credentials out of Afghanistan. And who's in charge of that? Bin Laden's son. Oh, you don't think they're coming here, Peter?
No, I know they're going to be coming here. I know, in fact, as far as I'm concerned, they're here. And all the weapons we set up after 9/11, like, for instance, what Ray Kelly had in New York, he was profiling all those neighborhoods, which you had to do. And the courts have stopped that. Federal courts have jumped in and stopped that. And it was de Blasio who signed off on that. So the cops are not allowed. I mean, if you hear that someone's coming from Somalia to attack New York, you go to the Somalian community here in New York and talk to them. You have to build up you're a detective. You build up sources. You get some on people and you turn them.
We have no intelligence of what's about to happen here in the United States. And I don't want to scare the listening audience, but it's that serious, and it's coming, and it's here, and it's just sleeping. It's the old sleeper cells, remember years ago?
Yep.
But we knew about them. Now we have no idea. Of the 20 million, they say it's a lot more. We have no identification. We don't know who they are, Peter. Not just gangs, but actual terrorists that want us dead. What do we do, Peter? How do we come to a conclusion of turning this around? It has to come in different stages. The first thing, I believe, is you go for the ground level. First thing is you revoke this bullshizzle bail reform. You got to revoke that. You got to change that law around. And then when people are arrested on crimes, you've got to prosecute them. And if you got to build more damn jails, you build them. Where is the freedom of the people who just want to go to work and work hard, and they're being stuck up? And they tell me crime's down. You're full of crap. Crime's down. Perception, my friend Eric says perception. That's another bull crap thing. Perception. I'm talking about fear when people are on the subway.
You can't walk into Walgreens and get a tube of toothpaste, right? Having some guy come and open up the...
I got to go shopping for my cosmetics out all the way out on Long Island because everything has been robbed out of the stores and they're all closing down. They can't work like that. So the whole thing is you start with that George Floyd effect, I call it. So, I mean, this was a great citizen. Didn't rob the woman that was pregnant, beat her up. He was on lethal amount of fentanyl. We don't want to see anybody die. The cop got him into that headlock. All right, we don't see anybody die. But all of a sudden, this was the catalyst for the attacking of our police officers across this country.
Absolute disgrace. And people like Andrew Cuomo said he's proud to stand with the rioters. Meanwhile, they throw Molotov cocktails at cops. A friend of mine, a cop, got his teeth knocked out with a brick, and then the bad guys try to turn the ambulance over.
Oh, they got, I think it was in Colorado, Denver, they got like $10 million. They sued the police, the demonstrators. Yeah. They were setting fires. They were assaulted. There were some murders involved with it. Nobody was prosecuted. And then when there's any kind of a question against a cop and we wonder why crime is down, no, Mr. Mayor, crime is not down in New York. Crime is not down across this country. People are scared. Half of the people are not even reporting what they go through on the street every day. My own son was hit with one of these Julio moped things there. And you want to know something? It doesn't go reported. Crime is up. Fear is up. America has become a fear country. And I hate to say it, but you know what? If you really, truly love your family and love America, you only have one choice when you vote. Maybe you don't like his personality. Maybe you don't like it. But you got to realize one thing. This is your only choice. And it's not a political show. But I tell you right now, if this woman, what's her name again?
Kamala.
Kamala, whatever the hell her name is. If she gets in there, baby, it's over. You'll have a Supreme Court with probably 18 Supreme Court judges, and I'll guarantee that most of them will be progressive. And then we'll have this new states of Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico. And then you'll have another 4 senators, and you'll never have another election where you'll have 2 parties. You're a political guy, Peter. You're one of the greatest congressmen we ever had. What's your feelings of what would happen if this lady gets elected?
It'd be a disaster. What you would see at the national level is what the New York City Council has done here in New York. You tie the hands of law enforcement. You turn your back. You have more illegal immigrants coming in, more terrorists coming in. You weaken the country. You weaken the military. And you take away local control of schools and transgender. All that stuff would run wild. It's absolute insanity.
All right, listen up. The only gift that any dad wants on Father's Day is Goldbelly. Goldbelly ships the most iconic foods from the best restaurants across the country straight to his door for free. Let him kick back and chow down on award-winning barbecue from Texas, epic deep dish pizza from Chicago, or colossal pastrami sandwiches from New York. Make Dad feel like an absolute legend this Father's Day and go to goldbelly.com to get 20% off your first order with promo code DAD. That's 20% off at goldbelly.com, code DAD.
Hey besties, listen up. I have a secret to tell you. LinkedIn now has improved the job search experience for nurses. Search by your specialty, the shifts you want to work, and the salary that you want to make. With so many employers hiring on LinkedIn, finding the perfect job is even more simplified. So don't spend months searching. Go to linkedin.com/nurses and find out why in the past year, more than 1.5 million nurses have used LinkedIn to search for their next role. That's linkedin.com/nurses.
Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
The rural way of life is about making everyone feel at home. Tractor Supply chose advanced 5G solutions from T-Mobile for Business to transform intelligent customer service. Together, we put the power of AI to work across 2,200 stores, keeping things running seamlessly inside, curbside, and countryside. This is elevated customer experience. This is Tractor Supply with T-Mobile for Business. Take your business further at T-Mobile.com/now.
Yeah, but I mean, we're spending federal funds. I just saw the guy that killed a woman and her husband on a boat over Catalina Island in California. All of a sudden, he wanted his ding-dong cut off, and he wanted to be a transformer, whatever the hell they call that crap, right? Next thing is, we're paying for it through federal funds. We're paying for it. Then all of a sudden, kids under the age of 6, oh, you know, I like wearing a dress. Oh, give him, her, whatever it is. Give them some drugs so they can become whatever they want. Where's this world
Well, you get
going?
someone like Kamala Harris saying it's equal rights to let a prisoner, a violent prisoner, to pay for his transgender operation. It's crazy, absolutely. I'm just thinking, you know, my father was a cop for all those years. Thank God, for his sake, he's not here, so he'd be going nuts. Cops being spit at, transgender operations. You have illegal immigrants coming in as terrorists and nothing being done. It's absolute insanity.
And then we got the migrant problem here, right? All of a sudden in New York City, they're talking about in 3 years, $10 billion. $10 billion with a B dollars. And in reality, a lot of these contracts, no one knows what the hell is going on. We're spending all this money, and he wants to go now, the mayor's plan goes to 2029. Welcome. You know what New York City's going to look like, Peter? Every one of these office buildings now have the right to converting into a house, you know, the apartments. We're going to have a city. New York City is going to be one migrant center with everybody or migrants in these single room occupancies. And that's what New York's going to turn into be. Who the hell? I want to go to see Rockefeller Center when the snow falls, when the tree is out. I love Christmas in New York. I got to go for Christmas with my gun. And I'm lucky to have a gun. But what about the regular people? How are you going to protect your family? These animals come out like Night of the Living Dead. They come out, they see a watch, they'll rob you. They'll do anything. It's scary, Peter.
No, it is. And by the way, you're right. I mean, you can carry a gun. The average person doesn't. And yet the people in the ivory towers, this is all in your imagination. It's all perception. It's not really out there. They're crazy. And I tell you, the average person, listen, all of us are descended from immigrants. Immigrants who make our country great. They come in legally. They work their way up. They don't come in illegally. They don't have swag bags handed to them when they get off the bus. They don't get put up in luxury hotels. I mean, every immigrant who's come here in the past, they had to work their way through. They had to get up.
You know, Peter, a perfect example. I tell you, I was against J.D. Vance when I first heard Trump using his right. I love the guy. I wish he was running for president. J.D. Vance is a very intelligent, very smart guy, and he knows how to handle all kinds of adversarial stuff. And I watched that thing with that lady. I call her Mrs. Ugly.
Oh, Margaret Brennan?
Martha Raddatz.
Oh, Margaret Raddatz. Yeah, Martha Raddatz.
I'll be very honest with you. I'm not a person that make calls names and all that, but she is one ugly woman. And she's ugly in the sense what she talks about. When she goes, oh, we really don't have a problem in Colorado with these Venezuelan
There's only
gangs.
some housing complexes.
Oh, yeah, only a few. It's not that many. How about it was your house? You got to be nuts. This is WABC, and this is what WABC did with Trump. It was a control. And now they think the people of America are stupid. And people who vote for Kamala have to be stupid if that's what you want. And then the next thing comes into play. We realized that wasn't good. When you had that transformer, that with the beer company, what was that transformer's name?
I know, it was Bud Light. I know that.
Yeah, Bud Light. The transformer was on there. They lost like 100% of their value because no one wants to see that. Now all of a sudden, armed services, what's this, diversity? What's these three things? I want to forget them because I don't want to.
Diversity, inclusion, and equity. I think.
That kind of garbage. Now they're bringing it here. They're bringing it there. It's not the qualified. It's all that diversity stuff. No, it should be the best person for the job.
Absolutely.
Not we care if it's a woman or a man, the best person. But all this division. And then people will work hard. And even, say if your daughter, that I know, your lovely daughter, was a swimming champion in Nassau County. worked her butt off there, and she was the champion. She might even go for the Olympic trials. And then all of a sudden, some guy with a yang-a-dang hanging down his knee all of a sudden wants to be a woman, and now he's competing against. Is that right? And your guy out there in Nassau County, Blakeman, I give him a lot of credit.
Bruce was great on that. Yeah, he's being attacked from all over, from the left wing, the progressives, all these civil rights groups.
You see when they're standing on the podium, the guy's trying to hide his yang-a-dang, and he's still got the yang-a-dang, and he's swimming against a female who doesn't have the strength, and then the boxing and the Olympics. I mean, where does this stop? Peter, where's this stop?
Now, you mentioned my daughter about it. She loves you. She thinks you're the greatest guy in the world. But she's down in North Carolina now. She moved to North Carolina. And you're talking about Mayorkas and Homeland Security. There are people getting murdered, dying. Whole cities, the whole town's been wiped out, and he doesn't have the money. It's it's crazy.
No,
absolutely crazy.
He said first he didn't have the money, and now all of a sudden he has the money.
I'm saying he said he
looked like a damn fool.
Of course you have the money.
Years ago when he came out the first time, well, look at his cabinet. Just look at Biden's cabinet. The morons are morons. Then you got that other guy who just had a kid with another guy or something. What's his name there? He was a mayor of...
Buttigieg.
Yeah, another Buttigieg. Yeah, Buttigieg this. Another thing is this. When you were talking about North Carolina, I have friends that have beautiful houses in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Even my friend Ken Langone has beautiful houses there. Beautiful in the mountains. Who would ever think you would drown in that? So now this is a direct story. My friend had a beautiful house up on the top of the hill. The river that goes by, one of the main rivers, maybe 2.5 feet.
They never had trouble before.
Never had problem. The river went up to 30-foot raises. They lost, personally they knew, 8 of their neighbors that had the homes on the river washed away.
Just gone.
90 people are still missing. Why the hell didn't this little Mayorkas punk put an emergency, mobilized, how many bases you got around there? Helicopters over there. Emergency. But if they were migrants drowning in the Rio Grande, they would be sending them over there, getting them out of there. Why aren't our Americans being helped? Now there's devastation in Florida. Where is the help for the Americans? I don't give a crap about people who just come here. I care about the people who've been paying taxes in this country. I care about the people that are losing their loved ones. I care about the people who are on the roofs of their houses waiting for help, never to come. And then we just washed right over it. Mayorkas goes on there, and then he had to go. He went there for about 2 hours or something, and he flew back. Right. He had to go to Nobu to get his sushi for him and his wife. Like he cares at all. All they're doing right now, Peter, is setting up for this Kamala. And if she ever wins, and I'm telling you, tell everybody you know, if you don't like Donald Trump, you vote for him anyway, because our lives will never be the same. And it's not going to... Do you think we ever could come back to her? If she gets elected, do you think we could ever come back?
It's going to be hard enough coming back now, by the way. But yes, no, if she's in there, it's going to be really tough. By the way, you talk about Mayorkas. The Department of Homeland Security was set up after 9/11.
Right.
Have you ever heard Mayorkas mention terrorism? It was set up to fight terrorism. And you never hear that word come out of his mouth. It's like it doesn't exist. All he's talking about is you can't have... cops.
Yeah, but then we pull out. His big thing is this diversity, inclusion.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And all of a sudden, even with our Secret Service, and I know a lot of Secret Service guys, I know a lot of FBI agents. Look, I got a lot of respect for them. And then all of a sudden now with this diversity, how about you got a president, a former president at 6'3". I mean, really, you got to fight, with all respect, I wouldn't even be a good example of a security person with Donald Trump. I'm too short. You got to get an imposing figure that can protect them. And it's common sense. You don't put a little 5-foot lady or a 5-foot man with a president that's 6'3", and you think you can protect them. I mean, it comes to common sense. And look even in the security business that I'm in, I have people that say, Bo, and I know I'm going to sound like a racist, but I tell you what, I have people that says, Bo, I'd like a big black guy. I'm sorry. That's what they ask for, a big black guy.
Okay.
That sounds racist, but you don't want to know something? They want an imposing person rather than having even me, because I have to fight with everybody. I came on a force of 5'8". I'm probably 5 foot tall now, but I shrunk, I think, a little bit. But all of a sudden, even for myself, if I'm putting security people that want to be working well, I want big, intimidating-looking people. Yeah. And if you got a female that's 6 foot tall, big piece of beef, I'll throw her in there. But I certainly don't want somebody that 4'11" that's going to be security to be imposing. You're not going to be. It's common sense. And even with the police department,
the best security person ever has to fight because people are scared of him.
Yeah, well, right. And everybody, when I was on the force, I had my big Irish partner. You remind me of a big gray-haired fellow like you, and big 6'2", Tommy Collin, one of the great detectives. And when I used to go after the gangs of East Harlem there, all the gangs, Savage Gold, Seven of Malls, I used to fist fight with their president, vice president. He would lock me in the doorway in the vestibule, and I wouldn't lock anybody. I'd throw punches. They'd throw punches back. And then we'd walk. He goes, "You're not going to lock me up?" I said, "No, we had a fight. It's over with." I didn't lose too many times, put it that way. And then all of a sudden, they wouldn't mess with Tommy. And then all of a sudden, he'll sit there. We'd go into some kind of a location. Next thing is, he would sit down, I'd go at it, and the guys would start fighting with me, and he would sit back. He used to carry the illegal 9mm. We couldn't have 9mm. But Tommy's not with us anymore. Tommy used to carry a 9mm, plus his little 38. And he used to sit there laughing as I would fist fight with these guys. And he used to tell everybody it's a fair fight with me, fighting all these guys. But the point is, you want to have an intimidating security professional. Sorry, it comes into play. Size and stature are part of it. You can't have a person that's going to have a control of a situation that's 4'11". I don't care how tough you are. You're going to be fought. They're going to go after you.
It's whatever is needed, tall, short, whatever the size. You need a guy in charge who can use who he wants to use, not be told you got to use this one here, you got to use that one there.
And you know what? And I've been looking at what's been going into the New York City Police Department. I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with it. They're just putting bodies in there because nobody wants a job. Because they know one thing. They're looked at. If they do something wrong, they're going to lose their pension. They're going to lose maybe their house. They're going to lose everything. So it's not a very palatable job. And we're going to end this by talking.
Now, when you applied, the line was a mile long that people wanted to retire.
You had to be 5'8". I had to sleep on the friggin' floor. Right. My brother Alan, God rest his soul, he's down with us. He didn't make it because he was 5'7". And now, I would be the biggest cop in the squad room. And you know what? I know something. Now we have a new police commissioner coming in. She was the head of the sanitation. What qualifications?
Let me just say one thing in defense. She was head of the low security Manhattan Initiative. She was assistant commissioner under Ray Kelly.
Okay. And what about the $175 million of cell phones she ordered? The Microsoft ones.
Yeah,
they were not compatible. If I did that, they would have fired me, Pete. There's a lot of good people out there. I just don't get it. Sanitation. Maybe she was brought in to clean out the garbage.
There you go.
You think so, Peter?
No, listen, I'm not saying she's the best. I'm just saying she has some police experience anyway. But the whole thing with the department, Keyshawn Sewell was a great commissioner.
Oh, I loved her.
She was great. And before that, you people like Kelly and Bratt.
Kelly and Bratt, my guy. And, my guy, Carrick,
Bernie's a good guy, but he had his own,
Yeah, but, Carrick is like a Bo Dietl that all of a sudden became the commissioner.
Right.
And, he did very good after 9/11. And the only other guy is our poor friend, Rudy, who crashed and burned. I'm so depressed about what happened with Rudy, and that's another story. But, Peter, I hope that today we brought our audience into how we really feel.
Well, people know where you stand, that's for sure. You're the best.
Well, you want to know something, Peter? That's one of the reasons I get calls all the time. Oh, run for mayor again. I would never run because they put all the lies in there.
You almost won for Congress. You almost won that year. 2,000
votes. I lost by when they threw a third-party candidate, Brian McCabe.
Right, Irish neighbors to take the.
He took the Rockaways, and I lost by 2,000 votes. He got 4,000, and I'll never forget. We were at Lenny's Clam Bar in Howard Beach, and I go to him. Brian, we took a shot at it, and I said we lost. The wife goes, "Oh no, we didn't lose." Next day it was announced he was the head of Floyd Flake's chief of staff for Congressman Floyd Flake, and you know what I learned about. I learned about politics. It's a very dirty business, and they'll dig it up. And God knows what I used to say on Imus in the morning. If they bring back those tapes, they'll say, well, Bo, you were racist, you were that. Times have changed.
They could just look at today's show if they wanted to stop you.
I don't think, I don't mean to be any. Look, I have more blacks that work for me. 98% of my employees are black. Mm-hmm. And you want to know something? I employ more than anybody else in this city, and I am not a racist. I'm a person.
Of course you're not. But I'm just saying, if they want to take a quote out, they can do it.
Of course.
Are you kidding?
When I use the expression, big black guy, and that's exactly what they asked me for. Bo, I don't want no little guys. I don't care about retired cops. I want a big black guy. So I put BBG. Now, that may be a racist statement, but he's a big black guy. What am I supposed to say? Big white guy?
You get certain parts of New York, you put in a big Irish guy, an Italian guy, of course.
Well, I want to thank everybody. Please spread the word. There is a podcast that really tells the truth. And today, I'm just very honored, Peter, by you coming on the show.
It's my honor. Great to be with you, as always.
And you are and were one of our great congresspersons, and you really care about this city and this country more than anybody I know, and I'll always be there for you. And I love you, Peter.
That means a lot. Thank you, Bo.
Good health to you and your family. Send my love to your lovely wife, your daughter, everybody.
You got it.
Have a great day.
You're the man.
And till next week, we hope that you tell your friends there is a real good podcast. We don't fudge it up over here. We tell it like it is. And if anybody don't like it, they don't have to tune in. But if you like it, tell your friends and tune in. And next week, we'll attack again. And that's why I love doing One Tough Podcast. We tell the truth.